Hi everybody! I hope you're all having a good day. I hope you're all smiling and enjoying your lovely day. In this following tutorial, I'll be showing you on how to set up MMD motions in Warudo. Now, due to the fact that I am featuring MMD, I do have some disclaimers to say. First of all, I'm not monetizing this tutorial due to the fact that MMD motions, about 98% of assets, don't allow commercial use, meaning that if you feature an MMD motion or an asset in your videos, you're not allowed to commercialize off of it, unless of course you own the animation or the assets featured. But if you're using someone else's, typically people don't, MMDers don't like to see their works being profited from other people. They do want to share their works, but they don't want people to profit off their hard work. So when you are using an MMD motion, I heavily recommend and suggest that, to avoid any backlash or someone reporting you or anything like that, please don't use MMD motions for commercial stuff, whether a monetized YouTube video or a monetized Twitch stream, especially if you are receiving donations. Even if the MMD motion isn't the center of attention, just featuring it may be some disrespect towards the MMD artist, because again, MMDers don't like to see their work profit off of. So that's why there tends to be a non-commercial use rule when it comes to MMD stuff. Now, you also need to credit any asset that you make. Now, this is not exclusive to MMD, but rather art in general. Please credit whoever asset that you use. So if you downloaded, let's say, the Gokuraku Jodo MMD motion, make sure that you credit the right person. Don't just slap on the YouTube video of where you got it. I mean, you could, but when possible, try and find the actual person, because there are people that do repost someone else's work, which is really mean. So when possible, try and find the actual person who made it, the original download source, and make sure to properly credit and share the correct link, not a repost link, if that makes sense. But, as long as you credit, you should be good, but that's just my disclaimer. Now, when it comes to MMD motions, you can simply find them by Googling MMD motions. Now, do keep in mind that not every song has an MMD motion available, but you could type MMD motions just to get some inspiration. So you can go, let's say, to Tumblr here and such. And in case you're wondering what MMD is, MMD stands for Miku Miku Dance. It's a 3D program inspired by Hatsune Miku. Somebody made their own 3D program named after Hatsune Miku. And it's pretty much, the MMD is pretty much where VR chat and VTubers pretty much originated from, because we started off with MMD stuff, slapping animations on T-Malls, and now here we are to this very day. So either way, you can be able to download these MMD motions here if you like, but for my case, I'm going to be using this animation from this user here. Let me see if I got their name. Yuri here. Yuri here made the Gokuraku Jodo. They utilize rotoscoping, otherwise known as motion trace. So you can download their motion there if you like. I'll link it in the description if you want to have it. This is very popular of an MMD motion, by the way. But we're going to demonstrate with this. So simply what I'm going to do, at least to demonstrate to you how to download, some MMD motions will have a password. You just click on the type out the password. You have to probably click on a link, whether it is the uploader website or it is Bullroll. Those tend to be the two popular places of where MMD motions come from, uploader or Bullroll, not Boost. Well, actually Boost sometimes, but mainly Bullroll. That's where all the MMD stuff is at. So I'm gonna go ahead here, Gokuraku Jodo. And then I'm going to go ahead, type the password here, press that enter, and then I'm just going to click on this button here for download, and then in a little bit, a download link should appear. If not, then I could just click on download here, but there it is. Click OK, and I will get a zip file. Now, for my case, though, pretty much, let me show you real quick. So pretty much here, MMD motions come in the format of VMD, otherwise stands for Vocaloid Motion Data. Now, there may be another format called VPD, otherwise stands for Vocaloid Pose Data. If you happen to see a Vocaloid Pose Data, you can't load it into Warudo, because it is a pose data. It's not supported. It's only the motion data. So you have to look for the VMD format. So pretty much here, what you can do in order to add this to Warudo, you're going to go into the Warudo editor, click on the pop button right here, then you're going to go into open data folder, and then a file explorer should appear. Then there should actually be a folder called MMD, and this is actually where you'll put your VMD motions at. So simply here, I can just click and drag these over here, and just add it like so. You can even also add cameras. Now, again, keep in mind that you are going to have to look at the label of the MMD motion to determine whether it's camera or not. And even then, it'll, you know, if you end up loading a camera motion to a character, obviously it won't work, but just know you can load camera data, which I have this example, camera data here, and then you can also load character stuff. So again, just follow the label, even check the README file, so that way you can see, here, let me just go ahead and drag it from my other monitor. You can use Google Translate or DeepL. I recommend DeepL, and you can just read the rules that they have and warnings they have. So again, these are more particular to MMD stuff, but there can, of course, be rules that they do talk about. So please make sure you take time to at least use Google Translate or DeepL. Even if you don't know Japanese, it's not an excuse to not follow rules. But anywho, though, what you're going to do after putting it in there, simply you're going to go into add asset here, then you're going to go into where it says Miku Miku Dance, and then load up the MMD player. And then from here, there should be a little player here. Make sure that's set to enabled. You can go ahead, click the character motion, and you can add the motion here. I'm going to choose this one right here. Actually, I'll choose this one. And then I'm going to have that load. So there you go. Now, of course, you might want to actually disable the pendulum. So depending on your face tracking solution, you may want to go to your pendulum physics and disable it if you have like the leaning movement, or just, again, disable your face tracking, like in total if necessary. You know, whichever is nice, but it's not a big deal, honestly. I mean, I'm looking fine. So, so pretty much here, you can be able to load the motion. There is, of course, again, you can even click on Open MMD folder if you want to, again, open up that file explorer again. So that way you can add new MMD motions on the list, whether camera or character. And then here you can be able to do some corrections. So if your model apparently is too far away on your scene, you can use this to just do some corrections, and even do some scaling here to kind of, which should kind of help out with, like, if you see any weird issues with, you know, the model. So you can adjust from there, like that, you know, adjust to what's necessary. And then when it comes to play face animation, you do need to have the MMD facial blend shape. Otherwise, like, MMD calls it morph, we call it blend shapes. You do need to have the blend shapes in your FBX. You don't have to add it as a VRM blend shape clip. I'll make an individual tutorial on how to rig MMD blend shapes, and I'll link it when I have that tutorial ready. But for the time being, if you have the MMD blend shapes, you say yes. If you don't have it, unfortunately, it just won't work at all. You can, of course, use your face tracking to just lip sync if you don't have the blend shapes at all. And for reference, let me show you how the blend shapes look like. So I'll link this in the description in case, like, again, you get ahead of me and you're able to rig these blend shapes real quickly. But pretty much, MMD motions rely on the Tita standard, because in the MMD community, Tita Miku is the most popular and overused model. Still pretty though, but it is overused. And pretty much you just, you know, references, you just reference the names here of, you know, how each blend shape looks like. Pretty much, if you have all of these, then you can definitely work on MMD motions, but you don't need to have every single one. At least have, like, the blinks, the winks, and then oh, that's kind of like if you want to keep it very simple. So in the description, you can just copy and paste the names, so that way it's, you know, it can work with MMD motions. Again, if you have all of these, you'll have a much better chance of it working with most MMD motions. If you don't have all of them, at least just, add the winks, blinks, and the ue-o, and that's kind of mostly what you need to at least get something started. You just add to your Blender model, and that's just kind of it. Again, I'll make a separate tutorial that really goes over how to rig these and how you can set it up in Warudo properly. But for the time being, well, I just want to give that as like in advance, pretty much. But here you can just click on the play, and then you can see how I am moving, for instance. Hi, how you doing? You may notice that there may be some issues with the legs, for example. That has been a very common thing I've noticed with a lot of people's stuff, is that this stuff can happen. Now, you could try and disabling your motion capture, see if it helps. If that doesn't help, again, you can try adjusting the scale again. So, adjust the scale to see if that might help some leg issues you may be experiencing. So as you can see, it's a little better, maybe a little too high on that leg though. So, you can just experiment this to see if it works better. Let me see if I can put eye facial mocap. Yep, there you go. That's looking nice. So yeah, again, it's not going to be too perfect. If you do notice too many issues with your MMD motion, again, you see some more weird leg stuff, there is another method called animation baking. That will be its own tutorial if you are experiencing too many issues with the MMD motion and really want to get it fixed. Again, that'll be a separate tutorial. But for the time being, at least, you can get started with this. But again, please excuse Tiger if some of the motions just don't work. Again, these are MMD motions, not Warudo motions. There's a difference. So, yeah. So it's not going to be perfect translation. If you do want a bit more of a perfect program, check out VRM Live Viewer. That might be a more perfect solution for MMD stuff for VTubers, but this at least just works, So besides that, you can also set up a camera. So for my case, I'm going to use the Gokoraku camera. I'll leave it in the description if you want to download it. But here I can add that, and the camera motion will actually be added. So there you go. Really cool. You can even correct the camera as well. Again, you can adjust it in case, let's say your model's too tall or something like that. You can just do all these fine tuning adjustments, even rotation, offset stuff to how you like it. Even distance scale, you just mess around with the values to how you like. Again, translation's more of moving it. Rotation, you just rotate it, turning it. And then distance is more of making the zoom, if you want it to be closer or outer. So there you go. And field of view scale, again, if you want it to be a little bit more flatter looking or a bit more perspective-ish, again, kind of, just mess around with the values and see what you like. For the most part, for most motions, you mainly just are going to mess with the translation scale, really. Not too much of the others, but, up to you. But besides that, you can even add music into, to the thing. So, you can go over here. Now, you'll have to add a music player, so go ahead and add an asset here. And then you're gonna go into, let's see here. So the music player, so audio here, and then music player. From here, you can actually add the audio, so Gokoraku Jodo, and, you can adjust the volume here and stuff, and then you can click on MMD player, go here to the music player, add that there, and even here, you can actually control what the audio will be. So, really nice. Because you can only have one music player in Warudo, so you can just manipulate here. and you can even adjust the FPS if you like. Or you can even add manual playback as well if you like as well. Which again, there's the little description here. You know, there. But otherwise though, for the most part, this is at least, you know, if I were to, which I'm gonna probably, actually not play the, I'll probably not play the audio just for copyright reasons, but, you know, again, I'm just pointing out that you can, well, actually that one was camera here, sorry about that. I won't play the audio due to copyright for YouTube, but pretty much, you know, you add the audio there, you press the play button, and bada bing, you are MMDing to some degree in Warudo. Now, besides that, I won't be going over how to set this up as a redeem again, because of the fact that I heavily respect MMD artists and the non-commercial rule. If you really want to, I mean, I technically made a tutorial on how redeems work, but I do ask, you know, again, like, just because I really care about the MMD rules regarding commercial use, I won't be making a tutorial on how to do MMD redeems, just out of respect, really, for the MMD artists. But again, you do you. If you want to take the risk, or if you want a rule break, you know, I can't stop you, but I'm still gonna tell you not to do it. But either way, though, besides that, in a nutshell, that's pretty much how you can set up MMD stuff in the Warudo editor, setting up the music, even camera as well, and then some pointers about if you have leg issue. Again, the leg issue thing is kind of unavoidable because it's not a perfect conversion. Again, use VRM Live Viewer when possible, but otherwise, if you really want to use the MMD motion and it still looks weird in Warudo, you may have to just do some animation baking where you put the VMD in Blender, bake it, and then you convert it into an FBX format. Again, I will make a separate tutorial about that, while also following the integrity of MMD animations as best as I can for, you know, as much as I can. But either way, I hope that this tutorial helps you out, and I do hope that you do have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Thank you to all my Snowflake members. In case you don't know, I have YouTube membership, so if you want to further support this channel and what I do, then feel free to join the Snowflake members. Otherwise though, just your support means so much to me, and I appreciate every ounce of it. Either way though, with that being said though, hey, goodbye everyone! I hope to see you guys next time, okay? Bye bye!